Hello. Are we live?
Yes, hello and welcome. I'm Hezekiah Gabriel of Pathways to Peace, and I'm just so honored and delighted to be here today with my colleague, David Wick from Pathways to Peace, who is the president, as well as Ashley and Shanali, who are the co-creators of POW, which is a digital Power of Women conference, the first time ever, 48 continuous hours. And so welcome, Ashley and Shanali. And as always, we are going to begin with just a moment of silence and a little meditation to ground us in this glorious day. So thank you for being here, David, Shanali, and Ashley. So let's just settle into our breath. Breathe a little more slowly and a little more deeply. And let us just feel the connections that we have here with the one breath that connects us to each other, to others beyond this space, to the planet herself and all living things on it. We all breathe. So let us just settle into our collective breath. And a little slower, a little more deeply. Let us bring our intention to the center of our chest, the seat of the heart. And there in the heart, we find peace and love, compassion and kindness, gratitude and harmony, and so much more right there, residing in the heart. And as we sit and as we feel that beautiful heart energy that connects us to all of our earth and everything on her and beyond into our universe. We now bring that beautiful heart energy into this sacred space that we share together today. As we lift, honor, and support the power of women. And now I would like to introduce David, who was a powerful leader and support for the Power of Women conference. And so, David.
Thank you very much. Well, I appreciate this, and I'm so delighted to be here as part of the review of what has happened with the Power of Women conference, which is absolutely outstanding. I would say is one of the most powerful experiences I've had in a conference, in a focus. 48 hours of incredible heart, wisdom, experience, intelligence which is absolutely fantastic and so important. This is a very important step. An important step in, let me tell you, this is from Nelson Mandela. And he said, wait, because now comes the time when women will be the cornerstone and edifice of world civilization. That's moving forward. This is a necessity that women come into full power, full authority, full equal place in the world with men. And Ashley and Shonali have done a magnificent job in moving us forward. So I'm delighted to be here. And Ashley and Shonali, please tell us more.
Thank you both so much for holding space for both of us and for us to come and talk about the Power of Women Digital Conference. And before we even get into that topic, because Hezekiah led us into a wonderful meditation, this is something that I want to share with everybody, a conversation that Shonali and I had before jumping on this call. And I'm just going to share a passage that she shared with me when I had just woken up this morning. Just as a mirror exists both within and without, the image reflected, the supreme self exists both within and without the body.
Would you repeat that, please?
Yes. Just as a mirror exists both within and without, the image reflected, the supreme self exists both within and without the body. And we spent our morning reflecting on this, what this means. Why I'm bringing this up is because Power of Women holds so much depth, and David just shared a passage as well, or a quote from Nelson Mandela. There's so much depth to what this is emerging. Power of Women is just a part of it. And this conference is just a part of it, something that's happening in the collective. And it's this time that we're all in, where we're all coming together and we're all reflecting each other. Just as a mirror exists both within and without, the image reflected. And that's how we want to start this presentation today, because that's the essence of Power of Women. It's this collective reflecting back something, and we're bringing this through the initiatives that we're going to talk about today. So to get started, hello everybody, my name is Ashley, and we have founder of Power of Women, Shonali Rajaratnam. And we'll be talking today about what Power of Women is, and what a concept of edutainment is, that is actually the foundational pillar behind Power of Women and what we are doing with Power of Women. And we want to share with you one of the examples of what that looks like, which is the Power of Women anthem, and then also share about our most recent initiative, which was the Power of Women Digital Conference, and share some of the insights and reports from that. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. Before that, Shonali, do you have any words that you want to say?
I just think you all just started so beautifully. It's so good to be here, everyone. And David, the quote you shared, I also want to acknowledge something. When you talk about Power of Women, you might think you said just for women. It's incredible. We have so many men who is supporting this emergence, like Ashley said, and the beautiful prayer you gave to Hezekiah, that was so beautiful. It's really intergenerational. It's everybody coming together. It's this emergence of bringing balance. Without balance, you cannot really, exist. It's a balance of having everybody, everything, nature coming together in balance. So I'm very honored to be here with you all, because you all played a significant role in putting this conference together. This was our first time ever. it was really our drive, passion, vision, and action that made us bring this to life. So Ashley, please go ahead what you wanted to show.
Right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. So, Power of Women, it's part of a movement because the women's movement, it has been an ongoing thing that's constantly evolving. And at this point in time, we are shifting, we're shifting, there's this shift happening in this movement now where we are continuing to harness and bring out what women can really do, what women what does it look like when women step into their greatness. We're realizing that there's true power inherent in all of us, and this has been an ongoing evolutionary process, and we are just part of that movement. And we are inspiring women across generations, races, and geographies to recognize, embrace, and step into their innate power. And we collaborate across boundaries and forging harmonious alliances where men stand as unwavering pillars of support to bring balance, harnessing the power of collective action for personal growth, the prosperity of society, and the flourishing of our precious planet. And as part of our efforts to bring about this balance, we use edutainment, which is educational content expressed through music, media, and entertainment, and events and experiences. How can we all embody this balance within ourselves and also emanate that out into the world? It's through shaping our behaviors and thinkings and word choices. And one way that we do that is through music, the power of music, the power of media and entertainment. So we curate engaging content, events, and experiences, and using music, media, and entertainment to captivate, inspire, and educate and empower a global audience. And with that, we want to give you an example, a taste of what this looks like. And we'll play this, this piece for you, which is the Power of Women anthem. I just want to make sure that it plays correctly. So,
Fair sound, that little checkbox. When you come on to share screen.
Yes, I'm sharing my screen, correct?
Yes, you are, but you have to, when you come on to share screen, you have to check that little share sound box in the corner on the left.
Let me just share one more time.
Yeah. This always happens, Ashley. We forget that piece.
Share sound, optimize video clip. Thank you.
Just share sound. Don't optimize video.
Okay.
Tell myself I am, gonna tell myself I can't do anything. I'm turning
That's the Power of Women anthem. Wherever you may be joining us from, whether you're on this call, or if you're, I know this is being broadcasted, if you're on Facebook, wherever you're able to capture how this song made you feel, please share. Please share with your community, with your network, if you're on Facebook or any social media platform, or if you're on here, please, we would love to know how this resonates with you, how this makes you feel. And we'll talk a little bit more about edutainment as well. In case anybody wants to share, I don't know if we have anything on the chat.
I'll just say it brings tears every time. It is so powerful, so beautiful, so meaningful.
I so love this. I could start my day every day with this. This just is very evocative of the best. Thank you.
It's fabulous.
Thank you. I think I want to add what Ashley said. I mean, that's what edutainment is. It's something that really, it's a cultural shift. It's the cultural shift from what you hear from every day to what you see every day, that we're so numbed to seeing certain content on social media, billboards, movies. We're so lost in terms of what we're even consuming. We don't even realize. And Power of Women, when we're talking about edutainment, let's broaden the narrative that we are constantly feeding into. Let's show more perspectives. That's why Power of Women, let's bring the female perspective, the feminine perspective, to broaden that narrative and really have different, I mean, having values and virtues being incorporated into the content we consume. And when Ashley says edutainment, utilizing the music, media, arts, entertainment to create content, events, experiences that really broadens our perspective of the world, really allows us to connect with people. Even the quote Ashley read, it's about really seeing each other as a reflection, being able to empathize with each other. So I just wanted to add that.
Yeah, and I will quickly share my screen again so that we can review this term edutainment, since most people likely have not heard of this term. As defined by worldbank.org, edutainment, which is short for entertainment education, is the use of entertainment media with educational and development objectives. Edutainment can take the form of movies, television shows, documentaries, social media campaigns, music, games, and interactive activities that are designed to educate and engage audiences simultaneously. And why edutainment? The main goal of edutainment is to make staying informed enjoyable, captivating, and interactive, leveraging elements of entertainment to deliver educational content. It combines educational objectives with entertainment value, aiming to enhance engagement, retention, and overall learning experience. And we wanted to define what edutainment is and give you a little bit of a sample with the Power of Women anthem as we discuss how we came about putting a digital conference together and also sharing the results of it. So I think first we can, do we have a question?
Yes, Marilyn has her hand up. Your microphone is up, Marilyn.
Thank you. I just wanted to say what this reminded me is that for quite some time, I think maybe perhaps 10 years, I've been hearing wonderful, effective stories coming out of different places in Africa where they've been using radio skits and programs and ongoing series to highlight social issues and changes that need to happen. One that shows up is domestic abuse against women. And they create these whole little, ongoing series where there are characters and people listen and buy into what's happening and so forth. So they're using edutainment to bring forth issues and demonstrate ways that we can move forward with things that might not have been spoken of in the past. So it just popped for me that that's one way in which edutainment has been used very effectively for quite some time. using radio.
I love that you mentioned that, Marilyn. Thank you so much for sharing that. Actually, one thing to add here with how Power of Women utilizes edutainment is through the creation of wholesome content, feel-good content that elevates your thoughts, elevates how you feel, and puts you in this place of where you're inspired to take action in the world, where you're inspired to take action for yourself as well. And that's one of the objectives with the Power of Women anthem, is to ignite that within yourself, that triggers reflection and recognition and then resolution, which Shonali can talk a little bit about those.
No, yeah, I think you did an excellent job, Ashley. And I want to say, Marilyn, please do share with us this program, because we want to always highlight, especially what's happening in different countries, how they're approaching it. That's literally what it's about. It's collaboration. And when Ashley talks about reflection, I think our content, I think anything in life is meant to be reflective. We should have that practice of being reflective. How is it impacting? How am I showing up into to the world? How is my actions impacting another person? Or, I mean, really asking the questions, why is this happening? What is happening? Being reflective. How am I making another person feel as much as the other person is making me feel? And that's where recognition and respect comes. We should have the ability to recognize another person's value if you have value for yourself. Because when you recognize your own self-worth and self-value, you have self-love, you're able to extend it to another person. You're able to show up and give that respect to another person. And the third is being resolution. I mean, we can go on and on about what's wrong in the world and complain about how things are not working out. Or you can say, hey, we understand things are not working out. What can we do together? Or what can I do? How can I hold myself accountable and really show up and take action? Because we have been going through so much. I mean, for as long as humans have existed, nothing has been perfect. But just realizing that this is the human experience, but let's also be reflective, recognize, respect each other. If you like to be respected, guess what? You have to extend that to another person. You cannot expect to be respected if you're not extending it to another person. And that's the content we are creating, bringing that out in people, being reflective, respect each other, recognize each other, and be solution-driven. And Marilyn, you have a question.
Well, no, just to your point, Shonali, what I now remember, because it's been a while since I was exposed to this, what I shared about these scenarios in Africa about a social issue, and I think this one happened to be about domestic abuse. The listeners get bought into these different characters, and there's the characters that are behaving badly, and the characters that don't know what to do, and the characters that are being victimized, and so forth. And they take you through, these different series, and you get to see, who changes and how they change, and that you get to see the evolution of some of the characters. And so the listeners are doing exactly what you're saying. They're being self-reflective. Which one am I when I see these things going on? Or how am I behaving in this situation? And, oh, wow, that was really courageous what that person did. And, how did that work out? So, to your point, the edutainment value allows you to step in to the experience in a variety of different characters in this particular example. So very, very powerful. And I'm really excited that you all have embraced edutainment as a way to educate and inspire and engage people. So bless and thank you.
Thank you, Marilyn. And I think to that point, I know, Ashley, you're going to show more and even talk about the conference, why we did the conference. It's a part of edutainment is broadening perspectives. How can we understand other people and their perspectives? Really, I mean, I say this all the time. When you look at the word history, and it's said in our anthem as well, when you look at history, it says his story. It's not to blame anyone, but how can we really share her story so we can understand and embrace our story? So I think that's where we are even with the Power of Women conference, digital conference, we wanted to amplify the voices of women and men and bring men who are supportive. It's not just amplifying the voices of women, it's not just for women. There are men who are suffering because women don't have their equal place in society in most countries. When a single mom is not getting paid as much as her male counterpart, the single mother's kids are suffering, whether it's a son or a daughter. At that point, gender doesn't even matter, sex doesn't even matter. So really amplifying the voices, bringing different perspectives, making it experiential so people can see. So, yeah.
That's beautifully said. And I love what Marilyn shared. And the truth is, when we when we watch TV, when we watch a series and become engaged in it, we experience an era of emotions. And those emotions that we experience are because something on the screen is resonating with us. It's moving things within ourselves. And that's what we mean even by reflection. Why, maybe stop to think, why am I feeling this way when I'm watching that? Is there something reflected back at me that's showing something about who I am? And that is the power of entertainment and incorporating educational content that's there to uplift you, inspire you, empower you, so that you can become the greatest version of yourself, so that you can find purpose, so that you can go out and, serve your community, serve your family, serve yourself. That's what we're doing with edutainment. So now going into what started the Power of Women Digital Conference. What is this? It's a 48-hour event that was an amazing journey for all of us. And Tezekiah and David and Marilyn, who was speaking, were a part of this journey with us. And we thank you all so much for being such pillars of support and strength on this journey that, quite frankly, Shanali and I were not prepared for. We didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. So, but this is when you are inspired to take action. Something inside is moving us in a direction to be part of something bigger than ourselves. And when you start looking at how we're navigating through the world as individuals, and how we are all tuning into something much bigger than ourselves, we're naturally guided. And that's how we were able to successfully deliver this conference. And 48 hours is not an easy task. And the beautiful thing about it was we embarked on this journey in March. Was it, Shanali? Like, this was March of this year, right?
I think actually in March, we were still working with CSW, NGO CSW, for the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. I think it was in April. That's, I mean, you could say March, because that's when we met David and Tezekiah through Pathways to Peace. I remember seeing Tezekiah presenting, and I think I sent the link to Ashley and said, Ashley, you need to get on right now. Can you believe the UN is really embracing meditation?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's fair to say March in a way.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
but relatively short, within a short span of time, we were able to deliver this conference. And how it happened was, there was inspiration, there was a passion, there was a vision, there was an action, as Marilyn always talks about these three pillars. But we were able to bring incredible speakers to be a part of this conference and participate, over 100 speakers. And we were able to do it. And we can talk about what inspired us to do this. I mean, Shanali, you can share, I'll share my thoughts as well. Do you want to go first?
Sure, I want to actually say something. When you say vision, passion, and action, I think it really was what Marilyn says, Olympian mindset. Sometimes I didn't know what to call it. That's what I have always done. I know, Ashley, you can resonate with this as well. We have always done it. we just didn't know what to call it, but Marilyn so beautifully calls it the Olympian mindset, which truly is. And our anthem starts by saying, impossible spells impossible. I think that's something that has been our key theme. When we really talk about doing a conference 48 hours, honestly, we were going to do it for 3 days or 4 days. We shortened it thanks to David's advice. After we spoke to a few people who have done conferences, they even suggested do 24 hours. But we were really ambitious because we didn't know how much work it was. We thought it was going to be easy, but I think it was so worth it because we were catering to both the Western and the both hemispheres, both North America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia. So it was important that we did that, and we learned a lot. And one of the things I want to say is we didn't have any connection to G20 at all. It was simply because personally, I was introduced. I mean, I looked at the G20 and I looked at the leaders, and there were only 2 female leaders, global leaders, among 20 of them, representing pretty much, I don't want to say half of the population, but it really does impact the entire global population, what happens at G20. So half of the population was being represented by 2 global leaders. So that was a huge imbalancement. And typically these female leaders are not very outspoken like their male counterpart. And again, it's not to blame anybody or saying, hey, they should have the exact number of equal seats available. It's a matter of having the perspectives shared equally. So that way there's a broad understanding. And even to solve problems, you need everybody's perspectives incorporated so you can understand what's happening. When you're talking about the climate crisis, I mean, what is the climate? It's nature. We as humans forget we are a product of nature, a direct product of nature. Whatever imbalancement we are going through as humans is actually a reflection we see in nature. That's the imbalancement, the climate crisis. So if women or the female perspective, the feminine perspective is not considered in the decision-making processes, when leaders are having conversations about the global economy, all these crises that's happening, I mean, the economic turmoil, the climate crisis, how can we really come up with solutions that's actually going to be solving the problem? So just because of the imbalancement, I know I spoke to my group of people, which David and Tessakaya, we put a conscious committee together to really seek advice to how to go about it, how to do a digital conference. And you all gracefully helped us. So thank you so much. I know Pathways to Peace just even helping, bringing International Day of Peace, in 1984, 83? 81 81. So it's a long journey. And I mean, us, Ashley and I, being Zillennials, that's what we like to call, because we are too young to be millennials and too old to be Gen Z. We are the 90s kids that kind of got forgotten to be categorized. So it's really just us coming and seeking advice how to put this digital conference and having the right people around us, and really not having any connection to G20 to end up having an official collaboration with civil society, Civil 20, C20 for G20, the official engagement group, and really doing this by making the impossible possible. And David, I see your hand up.
So before we go too far, I just want to really acknowledge, and which is really important, you had the vision and you had the passion and moving into the action, but it was your passion that ignited all of us, everybody else, because you talked with people, you expressed, and it was that energy. When it was a higher, talk about a higher vibration energy that was contagious. And, we all go, yes, let's do that. Let's get on board. We can help that happen. And we did, but just really acknowledge it was your spark, your passion from your heart. It was genuine from your heart. That's what moved everything forward. It was a magnificent conference. Thank you.
Thank you. And I want to add something, David, when you say that, I really appreciate, just the two of you being such pillars of support. And David, to see men stepping forward, and power of women was really put forth by, I would dare to say 50% or more men have helped us than women being a part of it. And it's so magnificent that, and even Ashley will talk about it once we go into our statistics about who consumed our content, which is going to be mind-blowing, by the way, when she starts sharing the stats, because we had $0 to do marketing and advertising. It was completely, purely people coming together to support and make it a success, which blew our mind because we really, Ashley, I know you have things to share about this, but really who helped us put this together, who consumed this content. It's really remarkable to see how men are seeking to be a part of this type of a movement, because we are not excluding anyone. This is no longer about just women. Women are the mothers who give birth to both sons and daughters. So we cannot just say, hey, it's just for women. As mothers, as sisters, we care about our brothers. We care about our fathers as daughters. And it's just about really bringing everybody together. And it's remarkable to see all the men who step forward to really push us all the way to the success line with this event and for future events.
Yeah, and I want to echo what David said. I really did stem from Shanali's passion, and I do attribute that 100% to her, because I always say that she's like this Shakti energy. Like there's a lot of expression and it has this ability to bring people into this like whole, and it's very magnetizing. And that's what happened to me. I was doing my normal thing in my life, working my job and everything, doing my own thing. And she talks about this conference, and she talks about power of women with such passion and holding this vision that oftentimes when you're with a visionary, because I do believe she's a visionary, then it's like, okay, we need to ground the vision, right? What do we do to ground the vision and bring it here? Something is emerging, and she has the passion. And then that's where I came in, and I'm like, okay, how do we ground this vision? And we brought it to life, and we got the conscious committee on board as well. And then it started growing and growing from there. And then
Can I add something? Ashley, I think you being my other half in all of this has been the most beautiful process, first of all. And like you said, you grounding the vision, really being that pillar of support. I would say, like, we wouldn't be able to do this without all of you guys, and you being such a reliable counterpart. And I really feel I want to express this because this is the power of women. We are not trying to preach something we are trying to experience, or we are hoping to experience. This is real life for us. Since I've known her more than half of my life, she's been my power of women. My real life example. So, and always believing in me, always rooting on. And that's why I really do believe this type of a friendship, this type of a relationship can exist among women and men, because we are so conditioned to think there is this jealousy among women the same age, competition. Hey, if she's my age and she's doing something different, or why is it not? I don't know what that is, because of the person I have had in my life who really treats me. It's just so much love, unconditional love. I feel like that is a huge component of why we're able to bring this to the world, because we really are living this. So I want to thank you for that. Sorry I cut you off. I had to share that.
so sweet. And I 100% echo exactly what you're saying, because our friendship was also a foundation for Power of Women, and how we are coming together and recognizing each other, reflecting back at each other, most importantly, and how we now are taking our friendship to serve the world is so beautiful. It's almost as if we we're part, our friendship is part of something bigger, you know. But I think that's really interesting. But just going back to the conference itself, then it started growing, and then we got to the point where we were wanting speakers to be a part of the conference, right? We said 48 hours, so now we need the content. And we had amazing speakers right off the bat come on board. We eventually got to over 100 speakers that were delighted to be a part of this conference. And some of these speakers are known public figures and just both men and women. As Shanali said, this is not just a women's conference. Men were a part of this as well. And just highlighting women, exceptional women leaders, and also men who are playing a role in supporting this movement, just coming and sharing their insights and through storytelling, through just their work in different fields. I mean, we had like a variety of just different types of conversations, all coming back to what is this, what is power, what is the power of women? And it's beautiful. If you all want to learn more about it, we invite you to go to www.powerofwomen.info so that you can look at the broadcast. But it's just so beautiful how this conference came together. And it really did stem from passion and a vision, and there's action that propelled this whole thing together. And it was collective action. It wasn't just one person. We all came together, all the speakers, the Conscious Committee, Shanali and myself, and Hubcast, and you know, just other folks working really closely with us that we love. And there's just so much love in this entire process. So much love and respect for one another and our talents that we all brought to the table. I mean, it was so beautiful to experience this. And of course, there's a lot of work that goes behind the scenes of putting a 48-hour conference, especially on such a short span of time. But we did it graciously, and like Shanali said, a lot of learnings, but the impact is undeniable. I mean, I would love to share the report. Shanali, do you have any other words to say?
I do want to add, I mean, when you're talking about like the conference itself, this was our way of aggregating the initial repository of content to show what edutainment can be in one of the ways. So when we brought these speakers, I mean, when we brought 100 speakers, it was really about storytelling. Really about sharing different solutions these women and men were bringing to the table. At one of our keynote speakers spoke, you know, Jonathan Grenoff. I loved what he shared. It was so beautiful because, you know, it was a human being. It was no longer even a man talking about women's leadership. It was a human being talking about what's very innate, that balance, the balance in female leadership. I mean, we talk about a mother. Every one of us who is going to be watching this either right now or watching this from like 1 hour from right now to 10 days from today, whenever you're going to be watching this video, what do we all share in common? We all come from a woman, a mother. A mother is something we share, and really accepting this truth of nature and really recognizing and respecting. And that's something and I love what you said, Tessica, rooted in love. And that's one of the things. I think even the speakers were so supportive on top of all the people who were involved, our Conscious Committee, and there were people who were actually supporting us without us even realizing, who were sharing with them email lists to putting us on their newsletters. It was just incredible. So Ashley, please share some of the stats, and I would jump into it when you're doing that.
Yes, and just to mention as well, I mean, like Shanali said, this is a form of edutainment. How can we engage a global audience through the content that you're watching through the digital space in this case. And we were able to engage truly, as the stats will show, a global audience. And this was also in collaboration, the conference was also in collaboration with C20, which is an official engagement group of G20. So that vision that Shanali held from the beginning, we didn't even know how we would access like G20 and potentially influence policy recommendations. But here we are, and we were able to do so. So whenever, again, you have passion and that vision and you take the action, things always align. So with that, I'll go ahead and share my screen. As we mentioned, so attendees and speakers joined from over 50 plus countries. This includes India, the United States, Turkey, Indonesia, France, Nepal, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Germany, Ukraine, Russia. I mean, all South Africa, Jordan, so many different viewers from all over the place. And we had 100 plus distinguished international presenters, leaders, visionaries, and change makers. And they all have a reach of, collectively over 5 million Instagram reach. And with the 48-hour broadcast, we were able to have 122 plus sessions. And this includes videos, there were music. We wanted to showcase what edutainment was through music videos and documentaries, as well as conversation and engagement. So this was about 2,640 minutes of pre-recorded and live content. And our attendees were over 1,700 conference registration attendees. In terms of live streaming on Facebook alone, we had over 11,000 live streamers and over 18,000 YouTube unique live streamers during the event itself, and over 29,000 YouTube unique viewership. And as Shanali mentioned earlier, we didn't have funds. We didn't have any funds, very limited resources, didn't do any marketing. This was solely through word of mouth or speakers promoting. And I know that we did a little bit of a press release as well, but we didn't have much lead time to really do a lot of marketing. And spend on marketing. So this was truly from a place of love, many people coming together to bring this to life. And this was
I want to add something too to this, Ashley. When you say that, it was pretty remarkable because what we have heard, we had to speak to a lot of people who have done digital conferences. What we found out was it's typically between 3,000 to 5,000 attendees for a conference. So we were like, okay, we had 1,700 registrations. We were like, good. What was really beautiful was on the first day, because we had to break down the 48 hours to 4 parts, because YouTube only allows 12 hours of streaming, live streaming, and we had 48 hours to go. So we had part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. And the first part, we had, I think, close to 1,700 live streams, 1,600. And part 2 got doubled. Part 3 got doubled. Part 4 got doubled. So it was pretty amazing. And we had, by the end of it, some of them joined and watched the conference from the beginning instead of live streaming, right? Even though it was live streaming. We had, we had over 30,000 people watching it during that span of time, which is something we were very grateful for because, like Ashley said, we had no marketing dollar. And funny enough, we were talking to the head of partnerships for Facebook, Meta India for Facebook. And somehow, because we were working from multiple different countries, from Vancouver, I'm currently in Sri Lanka, Turkey, nil, and I think LA had a login as well. So our Facebook ad account got locked out for fraudulent activity, a potential fraudulent activity. So that was really it was interesting because we had zero advertisement. But thank God for so many incredible people who use their email list, and even community partners like Ruckus Avenue Radio and our wonderful Steve Allen Media coming on board. He really, I mean, these people did not charge us at all. They were like, hey, how can we support you? This needs to happen. And they put their time, they brought their staff in to really work with us. To put stress releases out. I know Ruckus Avenue Radio did their marketing. Steve Allen, he did his help. I know Brahma Kumari's sister Jenna did gave us a lot of support. Even Rotary, Rudy, who is one of our E-Club founders, really helped us. So there were a lot. I mean, I'm so sorry if I'm missing anybody, but I know there were so many people. Unify was such a great support system for us as well. They pushed our content through their broadcasting network, which is why we were able to garner 11,000 Facebook live streamers. And Ben Bowler with Peace Week. There were so many supporters, we can't even mention them, but we are so thankful for everybody that really just believed in the vision and really supported us to really propel us forward. So I want to add that.
It's true collaboration, and I know we are almost at time. So I just wanted to share here some of the remaining stats. And we also did have live sessions. We had town hall sessions where we engaged with older generations as well as youth. So just that, like a diverse perspectives. And this is what is so interesting. So it seems that over 79% were male and over 20% were female in terms of viewerships. So we think that this is a very interesting statistics here as far as viewerships. And as far as age demographics, 55 were between 18 and 34, and then 20% age 35 to 44, and about 80%, like I said, male and 20% female. So this itself, we believe, is really interesting statistics, and
we hoped for it too, right? Actually, we wanted to hit these demographics. We wanted it to go male, because I mean, women already know the struggles women are going through. We need men to be a part of it, and especially engaging the youth. We really worked with our youth and many other youth groups to really push this forward. C20 helped us so much, really pushing it towards their network with the G20 organizations. So these numbers Ashley shared was what we were hoping to hit. But the fact that we actually did, and the stats were able to show that we really were able to accomplish, was something remarkable.
Yeah, absolutely. I love what you said about men actually wanting to be a part of this and being supportive. Even in the live discussions, we had women and men. It's always women and men, this balance, right? This is what it's all about. It's a balance representation, balance, and everybody involved. So this was the Power of Women Digital Conference, and this is just one of the initiatives. There's so much more in store as we move into 2024, and now that we recognize not just us with Power of Women, but just so many incredible people out in the world that are in alignment, even here with Peace Week, and all of you who are watching, we're all part of something bigger here, something that's already emerged, and as a form of service, we're all gravitated toward this higher calling, that is painting a bigger picture. That is this evolutionary process of human existence. So stay tuned for what's next with Power of Women. A lot more exciting things, a lot of different forms that edutainment's going to take. And of course, it's going to be with all of us coming together and shaping our world to be more of a conscious evolution.
Absolutely. And when we talk about our next steps as well, I want to really highlight the fact that we already in the process of now preparing, now that we have more time, for G20 2024 Digital Power of Women Conference. And we're going to be involving a lot more youth leaders because this is the new generation of leaders, and we need every other generation to really be the supportive pillars as we embark on this journey. And we are also going to be a part of NGO CSW. We are going to be doing a few other events. And as we build and grow our network is two things we are doing. That's our network of really incredible human beings coming together with a higher purpose. They understand there's something more, like Ashley was saying. As we're going through this evolution, how can we all come together like the bees do it? You know, the bees don't actually think. We were talking about this earlier, Ashley. They're just being. And I think it's a matter of really tapping into our innate selves to how can we organize ourselves as a human race to come together to work towards a shared mission for humanity, having a shared set of human values and virtues that we can all work and thrive towards. That's being respectful to each other, really working towards ourselves, the development of ourselves, our loved ones, and the environment we live in. And really coming together and just emphasizing once again that cultural shift without us even realizing you're constantly consuming content. How can we bring that cultural shift with important, wholesome content that really broadens our narrative, that really showcases what it is to have a shared set of human values and virtues creatively being incorporated into content, and really seeing other people's perspectives so we can recognize and be respectful and work together towards resolution. So we will be putting our events on our website. So it's always good to go on our website, www.powerofwomen.info. That's where you will find all the latest updates, all the events that's happening. And we are now, I mean, we did this without funds, Ashley said, but this is a global initiative. So we are all called for it. If you can be supportive in any way with resources, funding, whatever, please feel free to be a part of it. And also, if you're an organization that wants to collaborate with us, we are open. It's all about collaboration. We have to come together. We have to work together. We are all a piece of the puzzle. So let's see where we all fit and work together to really move towards this evolution, like Ashley was saying.
Beautiful. So thank you. Pathways to Peace is just so honored and delighted to have been a part of your incredible effort. And I mean that. It has been an honor. And it's been an honor to watch you as well grow and change and put all this together, because it's not something that has been done before. So I just really bow to you for this incredible, I don't like the term pioneer, but the effort was certainly pioneering. And so I'm going to close, but before that, I want to bring David back and see if he has any closing remarks.
I just want to thank you very much for explaining just kind of like this top level of what transpired, which was major, it is significant, and it has had truly a global impact, because we do what we do, but the ripples go on and on and on, which you have no idea how far this goes. But I would say my experience of it was like, and I mentioned this before, it's kind of like you have this 48 hours and it could be a PhD program as you dive into learning the wisdom, what has been expressed in so many ways. It's very powerful and very important. So congratulations to you both. And I know you personally were challenged and dug deep and came through a major accomplishment. So thank you. And I'm just delighted to be part of this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for both of you for being who you are. And thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Well, and we look forward to the next steps, right? And we all know that women are rising. So you're just kind of creating that momentum for women to rise. And so, yes, you're doing it, and you did it, and you're going to continue to do it. So we're coming to the end of Peace Week. Tomorrow is the last day. So we invite everyone to kind of jump into those incredible offerings that we have the best and the brightest around our planet, including you here today. So please access those incredible offerings, all free and very diverse in nature. And so at Pathways to Peace, we always say that regardless of who you are, where you came from, that you are a pathway to peace. And so we hope that you'll embrace that, and that while we celebrated International Day of Peace yesterday, we wish to make Peace Day every day. And so welcome. Thank you. You're incredible. And I'm going to close with just one of my favorite quotes, and then we'll let everyone go about the rest of their incredible day of peace. This is from Kavita Ram Das. We need women who are so strong they can be gentle, so educated they can be humble, so fierce they can be compassionate, so passionate they can be rational, and so disciplined they can be free. So we wish that for all women. Thank you. And may peace prevail on earth.
May peace prevail on earth.
Thank you.